Memorizing, the act of committing to memory or to learn by heart. It is the most basic and the most important activity in the whole concept of learning. Without memorizing, it will be like cooking without using any ingredients, or writing without a pen, or building a building without blocks. But yet, I hate to memorize. Last year, I started to learn Japanese under the guidance of my sensei. It was easy for me to learn Japanese because it is very similar to Chinese. So I did not really try to memorize anything, which now create a hard time for me. As I'm finishing up the N5 and N4 syllabus, I was expected to do the past years assigned by my sensei. Although I knew the grammar quite well, but I could not understand a word because I did not memorize the vocabulary. Being the lazy person that I am, I used the ancient Chinese technique of memorization, Fu Sui, to help me out. Step 1. Write down all the words that you want to memorize on a piece of paper. Step 2. Prepare a tall glass of water. Step 3. Fold the paper into a long tube and set it on fire. As the paper slowly burns, it is secreting its essence in the form of memory ashes. Make sure to mix them well with the water before drinking it. Oh, jokes aside, that won't work. Okay, please don't try this at home. Instead, I use the Zheng technique, which is developed by myself by ripping off other memorizing techniques and mashing them into one that actually works for me. I used this technique before to help me memorize Italian musical terms and also the more intricate end of the English lexicon. Before I talk about my memorization technique, let me ask you, how do we memorize things? By repetition. For example, Shopee. Notice how the Shopee ads are played every 15 minutes in every corner of Malaysia media? That's how memorizing works. It keeps repeating itself until it is inside your head. From the scientific perspective, it is also proven by these. Conclusively, by reviewing the materials daily helps with the retention of memory. Using these basic principles, I started my memorizing journey. But first, I stole some of my siblings' exercise books without telling them. Now, I started by writing the kanji and hiragana for the word 4 times. Then, I repeated it for the other words for the day. After that, I will walk in circles while saying the word out loud and also picturing the shape of the words inside my head. A small tip for memorizing: try to build on existing ideas from your head. For example, kinchou shimasu, which means being tense or nervous. This word actually shares the same meaning with the Chinese word 紧张. By building on existing memories, I use the similar pronunciation to help me remember the word. Another example, tokuya. This means barber in Japanese, but in Chinese this reads 床屋, and it meant bed house, which is quite weird. So by using the weirdness of this translation, I created another memory inside my head. There are many ways to go about it. You just need to make it familiar or weird for your brain to memorize it, which requires a tad bit of imagination. Back to where I left off. After walking around in circles, I sat down and wrote those words at the back of the book. Try not to look at the words while writing it.
Tomorrow.
Make sure to sleep earlier and have enough sleep, or else your brain cannot focus and work optimally. Before starting to learn a new set of words, I had a short spelling test for the words that I had learned yesterday. Normally, before the spelling session, I will do the revision on the toilet seat for the best results. If I get the word right, I will mark it with the first stroke of Zheng, or use tally marks, whichever suits you. If I get the word wrong, I will just leave it blank and repeat the word again the next day. Day after day, When I'm able to construct the word Zheng, that means I was able to write the word down 5 times without any mistakes. After 5 times, I left the words alone until Excel spelling weekends. During the weekends, I would sit in front of my laptop and type the words out without stopping. This is the real spelling that is not done during the writing stage, as it is randomized. I need to type everything out within a 30-second limit, in which is around 300 words an hour. After the session, I will check all the words, making sure that my error rate is less than 3%. So if my error rate is more than 3%, I will have to redo the test during the midweek. But luckily, my marks is okay. That's about how I memorized 900 words in 30 days. Just repeat, 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 and be consistent.